Good evening, sir. My name is Kiran Smarali. Today my topic is parameters. Parameters. Introduction to parameters. A parameters is a variable used in a functions or methods to receive input values from the outside when the data function is called. It acts as a placeholder that holds the data passed into functions. In other words, parameters allows you to pass information to a functions so it can also works with different inputs. Example, def greet name, print hello plus name. Here are the different types of parameters, formal parameter and actual parameters. Formal parameters. They are variables defined in the function's headers. They act as a placeholders for the values that will be passed to the functions. They are local to functions. Actual parameters. These are the real values or variables passed to the functions during the calls. They are assigned to formal parameters when the function is executed. Passing parameters by values. Here the definition of passing parameters by values. Passing parameters by the values means that a copy of an actual value is passed to the functions. The function works with the copy, so any changes made inside the function do not affect the original variable. Here the main key points are the passing parameters by value. The original data remains unchanged, only a duplicate of the values is sent to the functions. It is the default method of a parameters passing in many languages like C, Java and Python. Passing parameters by references. Here the definition of the passing parameters by the references. Passing parameters by the references means that the address of the actual variable is passed to the function. This allows the functions to directly modify the original variable since both the callers and the function refers to the same memory allocations. Here are some key points of the passing parameters by references. The function receives a references to the actual data. Changes made inside the functions affect to the original variable. Used in languages C using references or pointers and Java for objects. Here the parameters of scope and lifetime. Scope of parameters. The scope of parameter refers to the region of the program where that parameters can be across access or use. Parameters are local variables to functions in which they are declared. They can be used only inside that function. Lifetime of the parameters. The lifetime of the parameters refers to how long the parameters exist in memory during program execution. In parameters, lifetime begins when the function is called. In the end, where the function exists or returns. After the function finishes, the parameters also destroy automatically. Default parameters. Here the definition of the default parameters. The default parameters is a function parameters that has predefined values. If no arguments is provided by the caller, the default value is automatically used. In other words, the default parameters make argument optionally. You don't have to pass every value when calling the function. Variable length parameters. Variable length parameters allows functions to accept a variable numbers or arguments instead of fixed numbers. In other words, you can pass any number of values to the same functions, one, two, or many, without defining multiple parameters. Here the conclusion and summary. Parameters are the fundamentals for creating versatile and modular functions. Understanding defined parameters passing methods helps in writing efficient code. Proper usage of parameter enhances code reliability, maintainability, and reusability.